Presidential executive orders date back to George Washington, but in our polarized times, they are increasingly used to set major policy, sometimes against the explicit position of a majority in the Congress. They also lead to sudden big shifts whenever a new president takes office. Here are 5 facts on executive orders. There is no direct constitutional provision allowing for the use of executive orders. Presidents justify the use of executive orders by citing the constitutional provision that says, "The executive power shall be vested in a president of the United States of America." The very first executive order was issued by George Washington, just 6 weeks into his presidency. The earliest executive orders dealt with managing the federal government and were not controversial. But presidents began to use the power to set policy. The courts were increasingly called upon to rule on the constitutionality. In 1952, the Supreme Court in Youngstown Sheet and Tube Company versus Sawyer set limits on the scope of executive orders. But presidents have often pushed beyond these limits. Presidents have issued more than 14,000 executive orders, with the frequency growing in recent decades. While every president except William Henry Harrison, who was in office for just 1 month, issued executive orders, no president before the end of the Civil War issued more than 50. By contrast, almost every president since 1900 issued at least 200. President Biden issued 80 executive orders in just 16 months. Executive orders have been used to end slavery in territories in rebellion, to nationalize industry, and even to inter citizens. As the number of executive orders has grown, so has the use of the power to do big or controversial things. Abraham Lincoln's 1862 Emancipation Proclamation, which freed slaves in Confederate-held territory, was an executive order, as was Harry Truman's action placing all U.S. steel mills under federal control. Franklin Roosevelt issued more than 3,700 executive orders to quickly implement elements of the New Deal. He also used the power to order the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. President Obama set a record for executive orders and related actions in his first week in office, a record broken by President Trump 8 years later. Barack Obama issued 13 executive orders or similar actions within his first 7 days as president. Donald Trump issued 14. Obama explicitly and repeatedly stated that he would use executive orders to implement his agenda without legislative buy-in, sometimes going directly against the will of Congress. President Biden revoked 39 of his predecessor's executive orders in his first 100 days in office. Executive orders remain in place until the sitting president removes them or federal courts overturn them. Despite Trump's frequent criticism of Obama's executive orders, he only actually revoked 8 of them in his first 100 days. But Biden revoked a full 39 in his first month in office. And that's what you need to know on executive orders. For all the facts from No Labels each week, subscribe to our YouTube channel.